goodness, that was so loud. Good job. Bread and butter, marmalade and jam. Let's say hello as quickly as we can. Hello, hello, hello. Bread and butter, marmalade and jam. Let's say hello as slowly as we can. That was so slow. Okay. Bread and butter, marmalade and jam. Let's say hello as high as we can. Hello. Hello, everybody. Last one. We're going to do low this time, aren't we? Bread and butter, marmalade and jam. Let's say hello as low as we can. Hello. Good morning, everyone. Hi, Lo. Hi, Lo, to you, too. I'm so happy you're here. Okay, let's go over our story time plan. My remote walked away, too. Goodness gracious. Does anybody have my clicker pointer? Okay. Well, I'll just point with my finger. It may be a little harder to see, but we're going to go through say hello and go through our announcements, which we're doing right now. I'll teach you a word in sign language. We'll read our first story, sing a little song, read our second story, sing another song, then we'll read our third story. After our third story, we're going to get out some bells and do some Christmas songs and have a little fun doing that. And then we'll talk about our craft and sing our goodbye song.
I know what our craft is. Is that in the corner?
That was a pretty good guess. We'll have to find out.
I have the library goes to the line goes to the library.
Is that your acorn? Okay, so today we're going to read stories about libraries and books. Does anybody know how to say book in Spanish? It's libre, libre. And does anyone know how to say library in Spanish? Biblioteca. It's a little bit of a longer one.
Do you know how to say goodbye? Goodbye.
How do you say goodbye in Spanish?
Adios, amigos.
Adios, amigos. That's goodbye, friends. Good job. Yeah. And if you want to say book in American Sign Language, you would actually turn your hands into a book and open and close it. That's how you say book. And if you want to say library in American Sign Language, then you would make an L with your right hand and do a couple circles. That's how you do library. So now you can say it in English, book, library, in Spanish, libre, biblioteca, and in American Sign Language, book, library. Pretty cool. You learned some things. Okay. Let's read our first story. This is a fun one. It's called Miss Brooks Loves Books, and I Don't, by Barbara Botner, and the pictures are by Michael Emberley. Okay. Miss Brooks is our librarian. She loves books a lot. She loves The Runaway Bunny and Babar and Where the Wild Things Are and The Very Hungry Caterpillar. I asked Miss Brooks why she dresses up for reading circle. I want you to get as excited about books as I am, she says. I think Miss Brooks gets a little too excited, and I bet her costumes itch. Itch is like when you want to scratch it because it's itchy.
Like when something.
Like if it doesn't fit right or if it's got a tag that's itchy and it makes you want to scratch. Halloween means that we have to find your tag is itching you now. Yeah, that happens. So Halloween means that we have to find a poem to share. But all the books with witches, ghosts, and goblins are checked out. And I hate pumpkins. So I make up a Halloween poem of my own. Eek! A freak! The class looks at me funny, and Miss Brooks says, well, it's a start. It's not a nice one, is it? All year long, Miss Brooks reads us books. Books about dragons and pilgrims and presidents. Books about love and leprechauns. Groundhogs even. It's vexing. What's vexing mean?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't like it. That's what that means. It means I don't like it. Then in May, Miss Brooks tells us something truly terrifying. Book week. You each need to pick a favorite story to share with the class. I want you to wear a costume and tell us all about it. Really show us why you love it, she said. It's book week. I'll never love a book the way you do, I tell Miss Brooks. Don't be so sure, she says. When I get home, I ask my mother if we can move to a new town. My mother says there's a librarian in every town. I ask if she wants to do the assignment for me. I've already been in first grade, my mother says. So now we're seeing book week. We're seeing all the kids present, and this little girl's dressed like a fairy, and she says, "Then the flower fairy flew out." And then here, this one's a cowboy or cowgirl, and they say, "Giddy up, yip-yah-hoo!" Every single day of book week, kids share stories about trains and fairies and cowboys and dogs. This little guy says, "And so he just said wolf." So they're telling all kinds of stories. When Miss Brooks asks what I think, I say, too flowery, too furry, too clickety, too yippity. She doesn't like any of the books, does she? So Miss Brooks fills my bag with more books for me to read with my mom. But I don't like any of them. They're too kissy, too pink, and too silly, I tell my mother. You're as stubborn as a wart, she says. Warts? She was talking to her mom. I want to read a story with warts, I shout. My mother finds a book called Shrek. Shrek has hairs on his nose and he snorts. I love that. Can you read it again, I ask? I love this book. I have to practice the words over and over, but my mother helps. Then we make an ogre costume. I make stick-on warts for the whole class. When I get to school the next day, I ask Miss Brooks to lend me a hand. When I say the word snort, the whole class snorts. Can you all snort? Very good. I explain why a stubborn, smelly, snorty ogre searching for a revolting bride makes me laugh. Miss Brooks says she's glad I found a book to love. She says that even ogres like me can find something funny and fantastic and appalling in the library, and that is the slimy truth. The library, Play video games at the library. That is what we'll do. What else? Do we play on the computer? Okay. Play on the computer at the library, the library, the library. Play on the computer at the library. That is what we'll do. What else? Do we check out our books?
Yeah.
Okay. Check out books at the library, the library, the library. Check out books at the library. That is what we'll do. Is that it? Is that all we do?
Yes.
That sounds like a good time, doesn't it? Okay, everybody turn around and sit back down. Very good. Okay. That's okay. We'll vacuum. Okay. This story is called I Will Not Read This Book by C.C. Mang, and the pictures are by Joy Eng. Wait! Before I read this book, I have to floss my teeth and wash behind my ears and feed my fish. Wait! Before I read this book, I have to sip some water and scratch the tip of my nose. And let's clean under my bed. Wait! I changed my mind. I'm not going to read today. Reading is hard, and I don't read fast, and sometimes there are words I don't know. I will not read this book. And you can't make me. I will not read this book, even if you hang me upside down. Oh my goodness. By one toe. I will not read this book, even if you hang me upside down by one toe. Over a cliff. I will not read this book, even if you hang me upside down by one toe over a cliff while tickling my feet. I will not read this book, even if you hang me upside down by one toe over a cliff while tickling my feet. In a rainstorm. No, they still won't even read it. I will not read this book, even if you hang me upside down by one toe over a cliff while tickling my feet in a rainstorm. With lightning above. I will not read this book, even if you hang me upside down by one toe over a cliff while tickling my feet in a rainstorm with lightning above and sharks down below. I will not read this book, even if you hang me upside down by one toe over a cliff while tickling my feet in a rainstorm with lightning above and sharks down below, and
I would read it.
a dragon comes along and blows smoke in my eyeballs. I will not read this book, even if you hang me upside down by one toe over a cliff while tickling my feet in a rainstorm with lightning above and sharks down below, and a dragon comes along and blows smoke in my eyeballs, and all the while there's a speeding train coming toward us. I will not read this book, even if you hang me upside down by one toe over a cliff while tickling my feet in a rainstorm with lightning above and sharks down below, and a dragon comes along and blows smoke in my eyeballs, and all the while there's a speeding train coming toward us, and I have to sneeze. I will not read this book, even if you hang me upside down by one toe over a cliff while tickling my feet in a rainstorm with lightning above and sharks below, and a dragon comes along and blows smoke in my eyeballs, and all the while there's a speeding train coming toward us, and I sneeze, and you drop me. Wait. If you drop me, I might change my mind and read, but only if you catch me. Then I will read this book with you. The end. Wow. It took a lot to get that kid to read. My goodness. Okay, let's all stand up again and do another song. You may remember this one. We sang this one a lot in baby bookworms, a little bit in toddler time. It's called The More We Read Together. Do you remember that one? The more we read together, 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 the more we read together, the happier we'll be. 'Cause your books are my books and my books are something very sad happened in my story, and I can't read it anymore, replied the wolf. Please don't cry, said the little librarian, and she took Miss Wolf to the storytelling corner. They read the book together until gradually the wolf began to smile. The librarian and her assistants knew the story had a very happy ending. Ding, ding! The bell rang out as the sun came up. It was time for everyone to go home. One by one, the animals left the midnight library, all except one new visitor. A tortoise reading slowly in a corner, and he would not move.
I must stay until I finish reading the book,
said the tortoise.
I only have 500 pages left.
Let us make you a library card, said the little librarian. Then you can borrow this book and take it home with you.
How wonderful,
said the tortoise.
And how lucky I am.
Goodbye, Mr. Tortoise. Have a good day. Look how they tied the book to his back. Isn't that cute? The three owls and the little librarian gave the empty library a good dust and a sweep. Then finally, it was time to find one last book, a very special book. What is the book? A book of bedtime stories for three sleepy owls. Sleep tight. That's why they work in the midnight library. They're perfect for that, aren't they? Because they're nocturnal. The end. What?
I was going to hold Ellis for that story.
Oh, you were? Okay. All right. All right, let's get our bells out and we'll sing a couple of Christmas songs. Is everybody excited about Christmas this next weekend? Oh, you know, I think I skipped my announcements. We'll be closed on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day for the holiday. And then after that, we'll take a programming break in the first 2 weeks of January, and we won't have any story times in that period. Okay. All right, once you get your bell, clear out and let other people get to the bells. Okay, very good. Here you go. It's a little suck. Okay. There you go. Thank you. There you go. You're welcome. You want that? You're welcome. Yeah, that's what this song is. Here we go. It's about to do it. The red-nosed reindeer had a very shiny nose, and if you ever saw it, you would even say it glowed like a light bulb. The other reindeer used to laugh and call him names. They never let poor Rudolph. Here, hold the wood. There you go. There's the handle. Then one foggy Christmas. Now your ribbons will go. Tuck into. Ho, ho, ho. No, no, so bad. Won't you guide my sleigh tonight? Oh, there it is. Thank you. Love, Tim. Whoopee. Oh, Excellent. I'm so glad you found it. You'll go down in history. Woo! Had a very shiny nose. And if you ever saw him, you would even say it glows. All of the other reindeer used to laugh and call him names. They never let poor Rudolph join in any reindeer games. Then one foggy Christmas Eve, Santa came to say, ho, ho, ho. With your nose so bright, won't you guide my sleigh tonight? And how the reindeer loved him as I shouted out with glee, whoopee! Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer, you'll go down in history. Woo! All right. I think that's all we have time for. Okay. Thank you. Good job, everybody. Let me tell you about our craft. Walker got it exactly right. We're going to make a reader today. So you have different colored sheets in there. You're going to color it. You can design your own book cover so your book can be whatever you want it to be. You could put warts on it and make a Shrek book. You could put a rainbow or a heart or whatever you want. Your book can be about anything. Because that's what Miss Susie wanted her book to be about when she made it. So, after you color it, you'll cut it out. You're going to fold the legs accordion style. You have a little picture here that shows you what it should look like. And then we'll glue it together and you'll have a reader. So we've got all our supplies in the next space. You're going to do a white one. And that's that. All right, let's all sit down and do our goodbye song. It's going to be just like our hello song, except we're going to say goodbye. Are you ready? Bread and butter, marmalade and jam. Let's say goodbye as quiet as we can. Goodbye. Goodbye, everybody. Bread and butter, marmalade and jam. Let's say goodbye as loud as we can. Goodbye. Good job. Bread and butter, marmalade and jam. Let's say goodbye as quickly as we can. Goodbye. Bread and butter, marmalade and jam. Let's say goodbye as slowly as we can. Goodbye. Bread and butter, marmalade and jam. Let's say goodbye as high as we can. Last one. Bread and butter, marmalade and jam. Let's say goodbye as
Low as we can. Goodbye. Goodbye.
Thank you for joining us, and thanks for joining us at home. We'll see y'all next time.